Oh, people always ask me if I'm trans. I get that a lot.
Are you trans?
No, I'm not.
You are 100%?
Yes, I have a birth certificate that says female.
So you're 100% what?
A woman.
A woman?
Yeah.
Okay, because I sure thought you was EJ.
Who's EJ?
You don't know who EJ is?
Who's that?
Magic Johnson's son, bro.
Oh, okay.
Bruh. When did you start the hoeing? You start blading out here?
Yeah.
Alright.
Because I never even knew what a blade was until someone told me what a blade was. And they were like, well, it's where the hoes stand at. And I said, okay. And one guy did try to get me to do it out in Memphis, and I was not with it. Because he was like, well, if you're not 21, you can't get on this website, so we're going to take you to the street, right? And I'm like, I'm not walking on the street where them hoes be at. The fuck? I'm going to stay right here and find a client online. We ended up just going to sleep that night, and I fucked him, and that was that. But no, I was not with that. I thought that was cringy. I thought it was like this, and I just wasn't with it until I realized, well, if online ain't popping, you're going to have to go to the street.
So you went to the street?
Yeah. And I forgot who, oh, you know who, how it happened? The guy I live with now, right? He actually, we were driving one day, and I seen a prostitute in real life for the first time. She had the girl with the glass heels, I told you. The stuck-up bitch. She was walking, and she would not speak to nobody. Like, he yelled across the street. He said, hey, baby, did the police bother you? Because I was wondering, do police bother prostitutes? She didn't even look his way. She just kept walking. He was like, that's right. And he was like, so you want to get out? And I was like, no. And I wasn't even properly dressed to prostitute at the time. And then he got mad at me because the next day, I think, I found someone who's gonna take me to the blade, but because I had clothes. And he's like, so you telling me another nigga gonna take you to the blade when I showed you what the blade was? And so I started doing that, and then once I ran through, I had 3 pimps on one night before, because for several reasons. Number one guy was too chattery. He talked too much. Mm-hmm. I wasn't feeling that, and he just got out of jail, and I wasn't feeling that either. Mm-hmm. So the other pimp who pulled off on me, I hope you do not know who he is, but he pulled up and he like backed up, and he was like, he'd like, get in the car. So I got in the car, and he's like, do you have people out here? Like, I know a few people. Or he's like, do you have folks? And then I went on with him. He picked up his bottom bitch. She got in the car, and then I just stayed with him after that. He was like, this is how the game goes. He's like, I'm going to give you proper instruction. You're going to do this, this, and that, and I'm going to take care of you. So the other pimp started calling me like, where you go? The one who thought he was on pimp because I let him fuck. Yeah. And he's like, you got me out here looking stupid, like waiting on you there. And he was like, I'm gonna leave your shit. I was like, I don't care, you know how much money I'm making a day? I can buy that shit over 5 times. Like, fuck, I'm gonna go back for that for. He's like, you can come back and get your shit. Like, you never go back and get your shit because that's when they're trying to beat your ass. Like, that's the one I ended badly when he beat me because he thought I was leaving. But for the time being, it was alright. But the thing I didn't like is, I'm grown. You don't have to yell at me to get me to do something. Yeah. Like, you doing the absolute most. You try to inflict fear, but that's gonna make me not like you, first of all. And then I don't like unprofessionalism. If you tell me, check out about 11 and you're gonna be here before 11, it's damn near 2 o'clock. Like, so I had to find someone else's room to go, even though I did get some good head in the other room. See? He ate me out, he ate my ass, everything. But I'm just like, be professional, be on time, because at the end of the day, even though this is hoeing, this is still a profession. Like, and if you supposedly be a pimp, like, wake the fuck up. That's the one thing I don't like. And then, like, you don't have to be right here in my face to talk to me. Like, you don't. Mm-hmm. So he just being extra for no reason. And then, like, you trying to drive my car, you trying to do this, you trying to do that. It's just like, no, stop all that.
Then you got beat up. Yeah.
The other one, so the one who brought me to Long Beach, right? No, I have 5 pimps. I have
You're a big faggot out here, man. The city gonna start hating you, man.
So, yeah, man. The one guy, how did I meet him? I was sleeping on the bus. So, I was on the bus, because, what happened? Oh, I got a crazy story for you.
Go for it.
Okay, right. I don't know how I got to this dude's house. Oh, I called my homeboy up on Snapchat. I was like, "Yeah, can you pick me up and take me somewhere?" Because I was living with this 75-year-old, and I needed to go from there like 30 minutes away to this dude's house. And I was like, "I'll give you $20 to take me over there." So he came, took me. Right. We was online. We were setting up accounts because he said he had people who would buy pussy. So that's the reason I went over there. And well, hours go by. You know, we not finding nothing, and then like. I was stealing clothes out of the house because he said I could steal from his roommate. So she's a rich bitch. So I was stealing everything in that hoe. I was eating, stealing, chilling. And his stepmom came barging in. And I had to jump out the window because I was supposed to be there, right? Now, she's like, da-da-da-da, what she's doing? Like, what is this? And I like, pop right back up in the window. Like, look out of here.
You said what happened?
I popped back in the window, right?
Why?
Like, because I needed my shit. Like, you're not finna keep my shit. Point blank, period. And he had a vape, and we couldn't find a vape. So she's like, well, let her get her shit. You know, this is about you, not her. Like, she was like, come inside, because he had me sitting on the sidewalk waiting. And she's like, you know, she can stay until she finds a ride or whatever. She asked me if I was homeless. I was like, no, I just need a ride back to where I was at originally. She's like, you're 14, 13. And I said, you said, come again? I was like, what do you mean he's 13, 14? That's what she said. And then he was like, no, she's lying. She has dementia. And I'm like, yo.
Oh, so he the young pimp. My nigga out here, young pimp, my nigga. My young nigga.
So he tried to claim, like, okay, at first he said he was 19, right? He was like, in all honesty, I'm 18. I was like, so are you 14, 13, 18, or 19? Which one is it, bro?
Which one was it?
I don't know, because I didn't see no ID. And I was like, so do you work? He was like, no.
He pimping. He don't work for.
So I went, okay, whatever. It was a Mexican. And people look at the picture, and they were like, yeah, he definitely like 13. And I was like, I don't know.
So you out here just lowball retarded. Bro, you couldn't see that this is a little ass boy.
You
just hard up. You just hard up for daddy. You hard up for a pimp. You just need a pimp. It's like, fuck it though, bro. Let me get the 13.
But he wasn't a pimp though. He was just trying to help me. So then, okay, so I had the old dude, right? The one who found me on the bus, okay?
Okay, go.
It was a bus driver. Now he was like, "You can't get on the bus yet because I'm taking a break." But when he got off, when he got back, he's like, "Okay, you can get on the bus now," and he gave me some food to eat.
Okay.
Now we chilling on the bus. I'm asking him, I'm like, you know, what you do after work? You married? He's like, trying to come up on something. He's like, no, you trying to hang out after work? I'm like, yeah. So he's like, all right, well, he's like, I told him where I needed to go, but that bus wasn't running over there. So I fell asleep on the bus, and after a while he woke me up and said, come with me. And he was like, well, okay, my friend's finna come pick me up. I'm like, why is your friend picking me up? But whatever, I don't care, as long as I have somewhere to sleep, I'm not tripping. So his friend comes and gets me. Now this is a friend that he used to gangbang with. Now keep in mind, they're old, they're like 60. And he was supposed to come over that night, but he never came over, so his friend just fucked me and we went to sleep. Well, the next morning he had another nigga from the industry come, and I guess his son was a pimp, and he pimped switches that he needed to come to check me out, make sure I was straight. We did a few pictures. He put a hot sauce bottle in my pussy. Weird.
A hot sauce bottle?
Yeah.
Why?
It's for content. Like, people never seen that shit before. So I've had a beer bottle in my pussy. I've had all types of shit.
Yeah.
Bananas, cucumbers, everything. So he did that, and he was like, yeah, she's straight. So then he was like, yeah, we're gonna go to the Blade. At first, the first half of the day, we tried online shit, and then he was like, okay, if that's not working, we're gonna go to the Blade. Took me over there, made some money. Like, every time I would make some money, I would give it to him. Like, he was at McDonald's waiting for me to get something. But then I would hate because he would keep calling. Like, I'm in the middle of fucking a client. You cannot call me while I'm in the middle of something. Like, stop that shit. That's weird. So, then after a while, I think, who else picked me up? How did I get away from him? I can't remember. Oh, I know what it was. Okay, my friend took me to Fig, right? And that's when I found the other pimp with the bottom bitch. And then he was just like, so you chose up? And I said, yeah, I left. So then the other pimp was calling. He tried to get my $200 back from him. He's like, well, she chose up so she can get the $200. And he was like, that's how the game goes. And then he was like, fine, that's fine. That's only 20 minutes of my time. You can make that back, no problem. So he was like, but I got the bitch though. I got the phone, and that was that. My current one, which I don't really consider a pimp, I really consider him like a roommate, to be honest.
That's the old man?
Yeah, he's like 65 or whatever. He, I don't know. It's like, he expects me to have money when he comes home from work, but it's like, how can I have money when you come home from work when you leave me in the house with no house key to lock your door? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, well, you're using up all this shit, you're doing this, you're doing that. Or like, you claim you was making like $500 for these other niggas, but you don't bring me shit. And it's like, listen, number one, prostitution is a gamble. There is no guarantee you're going to make shit out there on the blade. If I don't make shit that night, that's not me. They don't want to buy that night. You feel me? Well, he only let me stay out there for like 2 hours. Fuck am I going to do with 2 hours? Like, I usually stay out there for 48 hours before I go to sleep.
48 hours?
You take medicine. I take a nap in between. You get up and you go back out. Like, I'm like, that's how you make the 500. You don't let me stay out there for like 2-4 hours and then be like, that's it. And especially you have me in a dry area. Okay, I understand you're trying to have me avoid Figueroa because that's where the other pimp is, but it's just like, you can't take me to some random ass place on Western that there's one fucking prostitute. Clearly people are not gonna think prostitutes are over there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, and then people were stopping. That was an issue. It wasn't an issue with people talking to me. The price was too high, and it's like, you only can lower so much. Yeah. So it was it. I gotta think, you don't know how people fuck. They could be like dog pounding your shit. You only gonna charge them $60. Oh, people always ask me if I'm trans. I get that a lot.
Are you trans?
No, I'm not.
You are 100%?
Yes, I have a birth certificate.
So you're 100% what?
A woman.
A woman?
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought you was EJ.
Who's EJ?
You don't know who EJ is?
Who's that?
Magic Johnson's son, bro.
Oh, okay. What was I gonna say? Fuck. Something about the
You
money.
talk about the other nigga, he don't want you to go on Fig because the other pimp there.
Yeah.
Shit like that. And you can't lower the price too much.
Yeah, you don't, like, there's this one bitch, take for example, okay. So the Mexican dude I live with, there's this crazy, she's crazy. She's possessed with demons, right? She go hoeing. And I be like, I asked her how much you charge for a session. She was like $40. I was like, what? Okay, now I did fuck a 75-year-old for like $30, but that's because he was letting me live with him. He was housing me, you feel me? So I can't really charge him. I wasn't even gonna charge him. He just gave me that because he knew what I did. But there was this Mexican outside, right? And I came downstairs. My friend was out there he was selling some diamonds, and then this other dude, the Mexican, came up, and he was like, "Hey, you buy pussy?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Tell him how much." I told him $150. And so he was like, "Okay, let's go to the ATM and I'll take you to the hotel," whatever. Well, as we were walking the hotel, there was like no one in there for some reason. I don't know why. It was weird, but the hotel was open. So that was a dub. So we left, and I told him I wanted a vape. So he took me to the smoke shop. And keep in mind, I had been looking for a particular smoke shop because if I found that smoke shop, I found my friend's house.
Yeah.
And I looked around, and it was that smoke shop. And I was like, yes. So I was like, we got to go to my friend's house right now. So we walk over there, right? I was like, stay down here and charge your phone because he was trying to catch a taxi, right? I go upstairs because my friend's like, fuck you, Ben. I've been worried about you. I thought you were dead somewhere. And I was like, no, but I have a client downstairs. And he's like, go get that money. So I go downstairs and I fuck him in the laundry room down in the basement. And he's the one who's like, you're so thick, I can't even fuck you. So he only fucked for like a few minutes, right? Damn. And he didn't have change. He only had 160. He had 150. I took that 160 and ran upstairs.
Yeah, why not?
So
you was to play these $10 games.
we don't get change. We do wholesale over here. So I left. I got the 160. Now, 3 days later, correct? I was still in Koreatown at my other nigga's house, the one with the fucked up leg. And I wanted some food because I didn't want to just keep using up this nigga's money because he was buying me all types of shit. So I knew I had money because I gave the nigga money, right? And he was like, I was like, can I have some money? And he was like, what money? I was like, the money I just gave you 3 days ago? And he was like, well, we've been eating. I was like, so the money's gone? I was like, nigga, you fed me one time. How is 160 gone if you fed me one time? How that make sense?
Yeah.
So I was like, that's when I knew, okay, oh, you on bullshit or you're just blowing my money up in the street. So I'm like, you're no longer receiving money. I'm not giving you money. I'm holding on to my own shit. Point blank period. Fuck all that. But one guy did ask me to fuck 15 of his friends, right? Okay, so I needed somewhere to sleep this one night. And I was texting this dude, and he's like, well, I live with 14 niggas. 14 other niggas. And I was just like, he's like, but you have to fuck every one of us if you want to spend the night. And I was like, no, I slept in my car that night. Because I was like, I'm not having 15 niggas running through my pussy.